Hello everyone, my name is Brooke Story and I am a part of the DraftSight team here at Dassault Systems. I am here today to show you all how DraftSight can be used specifically for landscape architects and designers. I'm really excited to give a presentation on this since I used to work in the field. I'm very familiar with the design processes and the everyday workflow for landscape architects. Because of my background, I have had the experience of using other CAD tools before, so it was a really wonderful surprise when I was able to learn how to use and produce drawings in DraftSight within a week of downloading it. So in this webinar, I plan to have you learn how to use DraftSight a lot quicker, or at least be able to produce typical drawings that landscape designers would usually produce. So today, we will first be starting with creating a simple planting plan and how to label it. Then we're going to look at grading and drainage plans and how DraftSight can help you produce those drawings. Next, we will look at layout and material plans, how to label and dimension your hardscapes. Then what about construction details? How is your project going to be built? We will take a look at some examples there. And then, of course, sheet sets. How are you going to organize all your drawings and send them out to the architects or client? So we'll take a look at that. And then lastly, we will take a look at 3D models and what DraftSight can do in that regard. So let's get started. All right. So one of the main things landscape architects need to create in their 2D space is a planting plan, right? So let's do an example together of how we can produce this. So I have referenced into this drawing an existing plan, and for this project, I'm wanting to redesign the planting in this area here. So first, we need to make a new layer. We can just call it planting lines. Okay. And then we can start drawing in our planting lines using the line command. Simple. Or if you prefer a polyline, you can do that as well. Or really, however you usually like to draw your planting lines is fine. To save time, I have already drawn in some planting lines right here, which I'll turn on. And then next, to fill in our planting beds, we can use the hatch command. Before that though, I usually like to create hatch boundaries first, so it's easy to see where I will be hatching. So next, I'll type in hatch or H. I then select what type of pattern I want for my planting bed. You can see all the different patterns here. Okay. I select the boundary of what I want filled in. I'm going to change the scale. And then when I click OK, that area will be filled in with the hatch. Okay. I will repeat those same steps twice more. Okay, great. Next, if you want to add in any trees or shrubs, you can do that by either bringing in existing blocks you already have or by creating a block from scratch. To create a block, select the lines you've drawn, type in B for block, type in the name of your block, select a base point, and you're good to go. You've got a new tree block right here, and you can just copy that around however you'd like. And again, to save time, I have plopped in a lot of shrubs and small trees here, so I'll turn that on for you to see. All right, so you can see we've got a small shrub here. And something that's really great with blocks in DraftSight, they have the dynamic block feature, where you can easily change your blocks between different trees or shrubs depending on how you set it. And this is really great for saving time and also being able to quickly see what the different planting elements look like in the space. So let's say you have finalized your planting plan and you want to add labels to your drawing so that the contractors or the client knows what's on your plan. So how do you do that? You can use the multi-leader option here to label your plants, like so. I'll adjust that. Okay. And again, to save time, you can see an example here of what it looks like with labels on the plan. Turn that on. All right, and there you have it. This is how you create a simple planting plan in DraftSight. All right, moving along next to grading and drainage plans. First things first, we need some topography lines. No one is going to know what the land looks like or where water is going to be flowing on the land unless we have the topography lines. You can XREF the existing contours into your plan if you have those, and then if you would like to draw in new contour lines, you can either A, create a new layer and just start going to town, or B, you can attach a JPEG or a PDF of a sketch you've done and then use the image tracer tool to produce the lines automatically from your drawing. Now tip, your contour drawing can be a scan of a sketch you've drawn, or if you are using the 3D Experience platform, there is a whiteboard app which allows you to sketch out your plan digitally. You can collaborate with stakeholders, and then you can import that PDF or JPEG straight into DraftSight. But for the sake of this exercise, I'm going to bring in a scanned image. So once the image is attached, you are going to want to click on the Power Tools tab and select Image Tracer. Once selected, you will create a boundary around the part of the sketch you want to make digital. And then on the right-hand side, click OK. Then your lines will be automatically drawn in, and you can select specific ones to keep or delete. For example, this sidewalk that's been drawn in, I can delete that if I just want to keep the contour lines. And then you would be able to use these lines going forward in your drawing. But for this drawing here, I have drawn out my contour lines in advance. So next, I'm going to show you how to label your plan. Under Annotate, you can click on Note to add your contour numbers, like so. In the dialog box above it, you can edit the scale or topography. Also under text styles, you can set standard scales and fonts to be used universally. It's all very simple. And then for flow arrows, to show where the water is draining to on your plan, you can add those arrows by just typing in liter and then adjusting the scale of the arrows in the properties on the right-hand side. Then just copy and place your arrows and text appropriately throughout your plan. Okay. And now I'm going to delete these and show you an example of what a simple grading and drainage plan can look like. Very easy to follow, right? Okay, for the layout and materials plan, this is where you will be laying out your pavers and hardscape and will be showing dimensions. Let's look at how to dimension your plan so that contractors know how exactly to build your design. So under the Annotate tab, in Dimensions, click on the Dimension dropdown and select which type of dimension you want to place on your plan. Let's try radius here. And voila. Under Dimension Style, you can also adjust the arrow and text scale for all your dimensions. So let's do another one. How about parallel dimension? DraftSight has a nice feature where if you hover over this blue area, you get a dialog box that lets you enter in any text or notes you might want to add with the dimension. This is great for if you have any special comments you might want to add with your dimensions. DraftSight also has this special feature called mouse gestures. If you right-click and drag your mouse in a specific direction, you can select a feature really quickly without typing a thing. For example, save. All I had to do was right-click and drag down. Let's try adding a dimensioning option to our mouse gesture wheel. If we go to Manage, Customization, Mouse Gestures, we can add in a new command. For example, let's do parallel dimension. Now when I right-click and drag upwards, I will automatically be prompted to do a parallel dimension. So again, this is great for if you want to increase efficiency and speed while drawing in the 2D space. So to give you an example of what a more completed layout may look like, I'm going to go over to the right side here, and you can see an example. And there you have it. That's a layout and materials plan. All right, what do you think is next? So in order for our designs to be built, we need construction details to be drawn, correct? So let's look at an example of how to quickly dimension a detail. On this detail here, there are some wooden planks laid out. Let's try using the auto dimension tool to quickly get some dimensions. First, you need to create a dimension bounding box around the perimeter of what you are wanting to dimension. See the dotted line here? That's the bounding box. Next, click on Auto Dimension and a dialog box will pop up on the right-hand side. You want to scroll to the bottom of it and click on Preview. Then all of the dimensions will appear. Once you hit Apply, it will be final and you can start editing them however you would like. This tool is really great for when you need to produce dimensions fast. Okay, so just so you can get an idea of what the layout might look like for construction details in DraftSight, here are a couple examples. So really, the world is your oyster and the possibilities are endless for creating details in DraftSight. So let's say you have finished your drawing or have gotten pretty far and you are ready to create a sheet set. I have created a basic layout here that will be used for reference in a sheet set. So to create the set, if you type in sheet set, then the manager will pop up on the side. Next, you're going to want to click on New Drawing Sheet Set on the top left of the manager and follow the instructions. You can rename your sheet set to whatever you'd like, change the location to anywhere, and hit Next. Keep hitting Next until you click on Finished. Now your sheet set has been created, and if you right-click on the set name, you can see that there are multiple things you can do. You can add a new sheet or a subset, and in my case, since I already had some layouts created, I'm going to import in my sheets. So I'm going to select all the drawings that contain my layouts, and once they are brought into the sheet set, I'm going to rename and renumber my drawings. Okay, and I will do that 2 more times. And if I just double click on one of the sheets, it will open it up for me. So you can see the grading and drainage plan right here. And now when you have finished all your drawings and added in all the sheets you want into your sheet set, if you right click on the set, there are a few options for you. You can insert a drawing sheet list table so people can see a compiled list of all the names of the drawings in your set. You can pack and go if you want to zip up all the sheets in their files. I'm going to choose the publish option and create a PDF of my sheet set. And there you have it. That is how you can create sheet sets in DraftSight. Not too difficult, right? Now the last thing I want us to take a look at is the 3D capability in DraftSight. As you can see here, we have a section cut of a structure on what looks to be a hill. But as designers, if we really want to grasp an understanding of topography and how elements should be placed in a space, seeing things in 3D versus 2D is essential. So to the left over here is also what appears to be a 2D section cut. But if we go to the View tab under Render, if we click on the Orbit tool, we can go into the 3D view. Now we can see how the topography is and how the elements would look on it. This is really a helpful tool, having options for 2D and 3D all in one space. You don't have to jump between different software to compare. It's all right here. Here is another example, but going from an aerial 2D view first. So same thing, if I click on the Orbit tool, I can view the 3D model. This is great for if your architect sends you a building they made and you want to view it in both 3D and 2D. You really get a good grasp of how it feels to be in the space and what the true scale of the items are. To go back to 2D from the 3D view, just click on Plan View under the View tab, and there you have it. All right, I hope this webinar provided you all with a basic foundation for how to get started on producing your drawings in DraftSight. Thank you and good luck.